Hi, and welcome back. Today we're going to continue with part 2 of our mini-series titled, Are You Ready to Start a Home Care Agency? If you watched part 1, you already know starting a home care agency isn't just about passion. No, it's about readiness. In part 1, we covered the dream versus the reality. We looked at 10 things to consider before you start. We focused on personal and lifestyle readiness. We covered things like your why, the family impact, your mindset, emotional resilience, grit, and initial planning. In this episode, we are diving deeper into the business side of readiness. So we'll be looking at your systems, staffing, marketing, money, or what you need to keep your agency alive long after the excitement wears off. So get ready, grab your notebook, because this part could save you thousands of dollars and a few sleepless nights. Let's get started. You first want to consider building your systems early. Think of systems as the engine of your agency. That's your scheduling, your payroll, billing, client engagement. These are not afterthoughts. I can't tell you how many new owners wait until they have their first client to think about software. Then they are buried deep into sticky notes, spreadsheets, and text messages. When we started, we used those Excel spreadsheets. It worked for about the first 15 clients. Then the chaos started. Imagine trying to figure out which caregiver will be the best match for your new clients who want maybe 4 hours, 7 days a week, AM and PM shifts. They have 2 dogs, they have 2 cats. Somebody smokes in the home. I mean, I'm not trying to make it too complicated, but this is reality. This happens. And you're going through your Excel spreadsheet trying to find out that perfect caregiver. And you thought you found somebody, gave them all the information. Come to find out, they were already going to be at overtime if they took that client on. Or they were already assigned to another client during the same times. So you're double booking. You're now worried about overtime. So like I said, those sticky notes, that spreadsheet you start out with, it's going to help you for a little bit, no doubt about that. But the sooner you can look at your system, the sooner you can engage or hire a company or buy a software for that matter, that will help you with your scheduling, the better. We realized that not long after we started getting 15 to 20 clients, we're like, okay, now we were chasing the vendors, we were chasing the scheduling companies. When can we start? Because they didn't just do the scheduling, they also helped us with payroll, billing, all of that was streamlined, it was automated, made our lives so much easier, so much time was saved and we're more efficient. So you want to set up your systems early, even if you start simple. Automation is your friend. Secondly, you want to secure funding. Here's something few people admit. Cash flow, not clients, is what kills many agencies. You might land your first client, you start providing services, they don't pay you in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, but you have to pay your caregivers, maybe on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. What are you going to do if you don't have the cash flow to support payroll? So just remember, your caregivers are still going to want their paychecks on Friday, right? If you pay on Fridays. So if you're planning to start out with Medicaid, for example, or other state programs that may take longer to pay, especially your first payment, you must have a backup plan, like a line of credit, maybe a business line of credit. 2 agencies that were doing well almost lost everything because of cash flow issues. But thankfully, friends came to their rescue. You don't want to mess with payroll. A caregiver would tell you in a heartbeat they're not going to work because they haven't received their pay. Would you blame them? So aim to have about 3 to 6 months worth of cash flow to cover your payroll, insurance, and just give you a little space, so you can be more proactive in strategizing. You don't feel like, okay, where am I going to get the next $1,000? You just want to have that peace of mind that your basic expenses are going to be covered, especially payroll. Now, if you don't have all the funds yet, don't panic. Just be strategic, be resourceful. You may want to start with a lean budget, apply for local grants, build partnerships, look for other revenue opportunities that may not take as long to pay. right? Resourcefulness is still one of the greatest business superpowers. You also want to understand your market before you start printing flyers. You want to understand who you're actually serving. Are you focusing on private pay clients or veterans or Medicaid waiver clients? Each group has different rules, different needs, and expectations. One owner we coached a while back, she launched her agency in a luxury neighborhood where everyone, they could afford it, they had long-term care insurance, except she wasn't set up to build insurance companies. How was that going to work? Right? I can tell she had great expectations for her company. She had a great heart, but wrong market, or she wasn't just prepared. So do your homework. Check the census data, aging population by zip code, and competitor rates. You don't want to guess. You want to know exactly where your clients are and what they value. You also want to develop your marketing plan. Let's be honest. If no one knows you exist, your phone won't ring. It's as simple as that. Marketing in home care is not about fancy ads. It's about relationships, building relationships. So you want to start local. Maybe your church, maybe your PTA, maybe your senior community center. Be visible, be credible, and be consistent. One of our accelerator members mentioned that when she started, she just talked to everybody at her church, all her church members. She just told them simply, okay, I've started a home care agency and I'm providing services to seniors in their homes. It's a non-medical service agency. She kept it simple. But then, who was her first referral partner? Her church. So don't think you have to start from the mountain. Start from where you are. Because sometimes the mountain is more difficult to get to, right? Start from where you are. Start local. Start small. But be present, be consistent. Build that relationship. Build trust in your community. And once they get to know you, they will become your raving fans. They will spread the word about your services because they trust you, they know you. You also want to build your dream team. You can't run a home care agency alone, not for too long anyway. Your caregivers are your brand ambassadors. They are your reputation. Hire people who show compassion, patience, and good judgment. This business is all about compassion, right? Not just looking at their resumes and their skill set. When we interviewed caregivers in the beginning, we asked one simple question. For example, tell me a time when you made someone smile. The answer told us more about their heart than the certificate or license they carried. So as you grow, you add schedulers, marketers, admin staff. Choose people who share your values and treat clients the way you would. All right, moving right along. You also want to train and retain. Caregiver turnover is one of the biggest challenges in our home care industry. The current industry rate is between 70 to 80%, and you don't want a revolving door. It costs more anyway in hiring expenses, poor customer reviews, right? So you want to create an environment where caregivers feel valued, they feel heard and appreciated. Small gestures go a long way. A thank you card, for example, a birthday recognition, just spotlighting them makes a huge difference. Think about it. Just delivering somebody a few cupcakes during the holidays or on a birthday while they're at shift, it won't cost you too much, right? But it's going to build that loyalty that is worth thousands. Remember, retention starts on day one with good onboarding, training, and communication. How you treat them on an ongoing basis. Keeping to your word. If you say payroll is on Friday, let it be Friday. Let it not be Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, right? People are expecting to be paid. They have bills, they have expenses to take care of. So you have to have that integrity. They have to trust you. That builds loyalty. That helps you create trust, and it will also help you reduce that turnover. Okay, like I said, it's going to cost you not just in recruitment costs, placing those ads out there. It's time that you're going to spend to interview, orient, train, all of that. And then what if they mess up? It's your reputation. So you want to make sure that you don't just recruit, but you find cost-effective ways, especially starting out, to retain the best caregivers. You also want to focus on compliance. Home care is heavily rated for obvious reasons, right? People's safety depends on it. Keep licenses current. If you're in a licensed state, make sure your license is current. You want to make sure that you do a comprehensive background check. Whether it's their work references, it's criminal background check, make sure it is comprehensive. Compliance sounds tedious, but just imagine explaining missing records during an audit. Trust me, you love paperwork. It may sound like a lot of paperwork, but you want to make sure that when the surveyor comes to your office, you're ready, you're compliant. Next, you want to measure your progress. You can't improve what you don't measure. You want to track what we call in industry KPIs, your key performance indicators, like your billable hours, client satisfaction, caregiver retention rates, and your return on investment on your marketing. Those numbers tell you what's working and what's not working. In our agency, once we started tracking metrics weekly, we caught small problems early and prevented big ones later. Even a simple dashboard or good old spreadsheet can keep you accountable. Next, you want to plan for growth. Many owners build for today and forget tomorrow. From day one, think scalability, think growth. What happens when you have 50 clients instead of 5? Can your systems, your staff, and your cash flow handle it? Plan your next hire before you are desperate. Train your team for levels above where they are today and keep developing yourself as a leader. Growth should be intentional, not accidental. All right? Last but not least, stay accountable and supported. No one succeeds in isolation. Look for coaching programs, mastermind groups, professional communities. They give you perspective, they give you different ideas. When you surround yourself with people who are headed in the same direction, you grow together, you learn from each other. As they say, iron sharpens iron. You may not think you are the iron yet, but you may have personal experiences that would help another provider or another agency owner, and you learn from them as well. So think about your community. What industry groups can you join? For example, in home care, the big one is the Home Care Association of America. You can join that, or you can join your local chamber of commerce, or maybe you have a local networking group in your community tailored to your industry. Okay, very important. Also think about this. It's not just the ideas and the perspectives they give you or you learn from them, it's the encouragement they will give you. When you surround yourself with people who have walked your path, they've gone through the different challenges, your journey will not only be smoother, it could be faster. Okay? Accountability isn't pressure, it's partnership. It's what turns I'm trying into I am thriving. So here you have it, 10 business readiness checkpoints that determine whether your home care agency will survive or struggle. Part 1 was about heart and mindset. Part 2 is about structure and sustainability. So if you've gone through both videos, you may be thinking, I see where I need to tighten up. That's good. Awareness is the first step towards strength. At this point, you may want to take our home care readiness quiz to see if your overall readiness score is where you like it to be. The home care readiness quiz is going to reveal a lot to you. It's quick, it's insightful, it will highlight exactly where you need to focus next. And when you're ready for that personalized guidance, head over to askjohnandpaul.com. askjohnandpaul.com to schedule your free 30-minute strategy call with us. We'd love to help you start strong, to avoid those common pitfalls and build a thriving agency that truly makes a difference. Because in home care isn't about luck. No. It's about preparedness. It's about readiness. All right? So if this video spoke to you, be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified for part 3. This is a 3-part mini series. You don't want to miss that. So be sure to subscribe. And again, feel free to share your comments, like, and share with others. We are here to help you.